Hey everyone, Dinosaur72 here, and today we're doing a bit of a different video. I'm making a cake. I'm making a cake for the 5th anniversary of Rebecca and Freakshow, and also for Rebecca's birthday, which this video will be coming out on that day, which is Friday. I'm currently recording this on Tuesday. So, yeah. My apologies to the audio. It's a bit weird, this video. I am using a pair of Bluetooth earbuds as microphones because I don't have an actual proper microphone, at least not one that would require me to be connected to the phone. I could use my headset, but I'd have to be connected to the phone, which would be very annoying. And also, before I get started, I just want to say my dad is currently home. He is upstairs, so if you hear anything, it's probably him. I thought I'd be alone today, but apparently not. I'm going to be making a Victoria sandwich cake from that book here. My mum suggested this, and I trust her judgment because my mum knows how to cook and bake. So yeah, I have never made a cake in my entire life. I'm just gonna say that right now. I've never made a cake. I can cook, I can bake, but I've never made a cake. But I think as long as I follow the recipe, I'll be okay. So yeah. Now, I am changing it a little bit, just make it a bit more unique, a bit more Rebecca and Freakshow-y. So, Victoria sandwich cake, also known as Victoria sponge cake, everyone knows what this kind of cake is. It's 2 layers of cake with jam in the middle of it. I'm doing something similar, except instead of jam, I'm using marmalade. And I'm going to cover the entire thing in chocolate frosting, so it's basically a big Jaffa cake. Because A, I love Jaffa cakes, and B, Freakshow loves Jaffa cakes. It's their favourite biscuit. Or, well, Jaffa cakes aren't biscuits, but you know what I mean. So, I'm also going to be dyeing the 2 parts of the cake. Purple and green, obviously. Rebecca and Freakshow's colour scheme, I should say. And I'm also going to be putting in the zest of 1 orange to add a little extra flavour to the batter. So, I'm going to get everything set up. I'm going to tie my hair back so that none of it gets in the batter because that'll be disgusting. Yeah, I'm so fucking awkward, oh my god. Okay, so a note to future self, get everything prepped before recording. I had to prep 2 cake tins, line them with parchment paper and grease them. The book says this takes 5 minutes. It took me half an hour, because I didn't know what I was doing. I got there in the end. It was very frustrating, and I've already decided I don't like making cakes. But we're gonna persevere, because I've already paid for the ingredients. So, I have a stand mixer, right here. I can't really show it to you aside from that, because, well, then you wouldn't be able to see my face. Yeah. And there's a bunch of stuff inside for different things. That's for making bread. But we need this, the whisk. So, this is my mum's stand mixer. And she knows I'm using this. She knows I'm doing this today, but I'm going to be very careful of it because it's not mine. So, there's going to be a lot of cutting in this video because I'm still learning the recipe. Because like I said, I've never made a cake before. So I'm not going to bore you with all the shots of me looking over to read the book. We're going to get into it. And while I make this cake, I'm going to be talking to you guys about kind of the history of Rebecca and Freakshow. Since it's the 5th anniversary and all. So I'm going to be giving you guys a history lesson on everything to do with Rebecca and Freakshow. So, without further ado, let's get started. So, it all started back in 2017. Before there was Rebecca, there was just Freakshow. Mr. Freakshow. That's what I called the character at the time. There was no gender fluidity in them because I didn't know that was a thing at the time. So I made Mr. Freakshow as my YouTube avatar because at the time I was very gung-ho about creating a career on YouTube, whereas now it's more so just a hobby. And I made this character essentially because I used to get bullied a lot because I have autism. And I would get called names a lot. Ooh, it's got a fancy thing on it. Hell yeah. I used to get called names, like weirdo and Another word I'm not entirely sure I'm allowed to say on YouTube, but I'll put a picture on the screen of a transformer that's named the same thing for some reason. So yeah, I was called names one. And at one point, I did get called a freak by one guy. One guy called me a freak. And that one really stuck with me. It was mostly because at the time, we had just gotten our first teaser for FNAF 6, also known as Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria Sim. And the only look we had of it at the time was that teaser of Scrap Baby, with a poster behind her that said, Freaks. Come on, still not enough. A poster behind her that said Freaks. And at the time, we didn't know anything about this character. We didn't know who she was, we didn't know what her name was. So everyone just called her Freakshow Baby. So the name Freakshow was very fresh in my mind because of that. God, this is such a strange video. Talking about the history of my OCs while I measure butter. So yeah, I decided one day that I was tired of being made fun of. I was tired of letting it get to me. So I came up with the character of Mr. Freakshow as a way of basically saying, oh jeez, sorry, that was probably very loud. Basically as a way of saying, fuck it, I am a freak. I'm the freak, and that's okay. And so later on in the day, when I got to school, I started drawing this character, and I knew exactly what I wanted him to look like. I'll put the artwork on screen if I can find it. I'll put the drawing on screen because I still have it. I made a character who was this tall, thin man in a suit because it was 2017 and that was cool. With a cane, big claws, a big spiraling horn, a top hat, and one yellow eye and one blue eye, and glasses. Now at the time, my thought process was, this character is blind in one eye or can't see through one eye, so only one of the glasses only have like one lens. I don't know why I thought of this. I thought it was stupid, or I think it's stupid now, anyways. And the characterization had a lot of inspiration, namely purple guy from FNAF. That's why Freakshow wears a purple jacket. It is directly because of Billy Bafton, purple guy. But the main inspiration was Pennywise from It. That's how I know around about when I made the character. I can't remember the exact date of when I made Freakshow, but it was around 2017 because I just watched It, the remake. And I really liked it. It was like my first proper horror movie, so like I really liked it. And that's why Freakshow is a shapeshifter. And why they have these yellow eyes and stuff is all based on It. And in fact, actually in the artwork for their true form, they have these big claw limbs. That's based directly on Pennywise, because he has that in the movie. And originally Freakshow was a very different character. Originally they were a villain, which I think might have been a reflection of how I felt at the time. Because obviously I was very angry with everything, because I'd spent so long getting teased and bullied. Up until that point in my life, everyone I met was very nice to me. This is the first time I felt what I felt like was being hated by people. And so that kind of came out in how I characterized them. They were a villain. They were angry. And specifically, they were the son of the devil, because I was 15 and thought that was cool. I look back on it now and it's so hokey. And I just remembered, they had a sidekick. It was a skinwalker. Because I was really obsessed with the legends from America of skinwalkers. So I gave Freakshow a skinwalker pet, companion thing. And I've never touched it like since I first made it, because it's dumb. it's so stupid. So I leave secondary school, having done basically nothing with the character. I made artwork of him and kind of just left it. I did try making an animation, with Freakshow, and my other OC at the time, I liked him. He was kind of a robot wolf thing, heavily inspired by the Funtime Animal comics. But it never went anywhere. I did nothing with Freakshow until I went to college a year later. I made more artwork of them. I changed up the design a bit, and then kind of left it again. And then, in late 2019, early 2020, I started making more artwork. I decided to bring them back. I played around with the characterization a little bit more. This is riveting content. I played around with the characterization a little bit more. And I came up with this story idea. I came up with this story idea of Freakshow being an entity in a painting. And a bunch of teenagers were at a friend's house with this painting. And they somehow unleash the entity in the painting. And there would be this whole kerfuffle with Freakshow trying to kill them. And there were going to be these other characters, because I'd also come up with this concept for a game about Freakshow. Sorry, not Rebecca. Because I wanted to be a game developer when I was younger. Before I wanted to be an animator, I wanted to be a game developer. And I had this kind of idea of a circus, where this demon, who became Mr. Freakshow, would take it over and make everything all wrong and horrible. And I still actually do kind of like some of the concepts I came up with. It's like this circus, instead of having like a lion tamer, it was werewolves. The acrobat became a spider, and they had this animatronic killer clown thing. I know, yeah. And that stuff was still going to appear in this. I wanted to do it as a YouTube series, a choose your own adventure YouTube series, where things will happen in the video, and then you get like 2 things pop up on the screen saying, if you choose to do this, click on this link. If you choose to do this, click on that. I thought that was cool, but there would be no way I would be able to do that. I don't know how. So I kind of canned it, especially whenever I started to develop the idea of coming up with a second character. Before I continue the story, what I'm doing now, I have split the ingredients in half because I have some dye. I'm going to dye the 2 layers purple and green, Freakshow's colors. So I'm doing them in halves. So the first half is going to be dyed purple, and the second half is going to be dyed green. So I'm going to pause the recording so I can mix this, because the mixer is very loud. You will not be able to hear me talking while it's mixing, so we'll be back when it's mixed. So we have the batter here. I'm going to add in some of this food coloring. I'm just going to mix it until it's a nice purple color. Okay, I used like most of the food coloring. As you can see, it's this nice purple color. I'm actually now going to go in with a hand whisk and see if I can mix it just a little more. So I will be right back. I got food color on my fingers. Fuck. Okay, so we now have this big bowl of purple batter, and I'm now going to put it into one of these cake tins. And I'll set it aside while I work on the second half of the batter. So 2020 came around. I started doing more stuff with the Freakshow. I kind of developed them a bit more. There's more food color on my fingers. That's Can I talk and do this at the same time? That's going to be the real question. Will my ADHD allow me to do that? So this is a clusterfuck. That's very, very good. Oh man, that was good. 2020, doing more Freakshow. And around about this time, we got the trailer and announcements of Pokemon Sword and Shield. I promise this is irrelevant. And I loved the idea of a Pokemon game with character customization. It's what drew me in to that particular installment of the franchise. And so I decided, oh, this is the batter, by the way. It's slopping down into this cake tin. Slopping. I forgot to add the orange zest. Oh, it's too late now. I'll eat the orange for my lunch. I don't care. So I wanted to get the cake, but I wanted my character to be a girl because I thought the male character looked a bit boring. This is before I found out, oh, the game, you could change your character's like skin and eyes and hair and everything. So I went for the girl character. And I wanted to make my character Freakshow because they were like my only character at the time. And so I made a female version called Mrs. Freakshow. And that's the origin for them. They were originally a completely different character. They were originally a Pokemon OC before I made them the same character as Freakshow. Okay, so I'm just smoothing out the cake batter now into the tin. I need to be talking more in this video. So then came February 2020. Sonic the Hedgehog had just come out in cinemas. I'd seen it with my boys. It was great. And around about this time, I came up with a new concept for a character. She was kind of based on me. Kind of based on what I dressed like, what I was like at the time. And so with the help of a friend of mine, I created a design, and she came up with a name. And that name was... My god, look at it. That's horrible. She came up with a name for the character. Rebecca. And that's how she came into being. And a few days later, I was at college again with my friends. And I was making a meme based on Freakshow, based on the older version of the story where they were a entity in a painting. And then I realized I have another character that I just made, Rebecca. Why don't I pair them together? And that's when I made the very first comic of Rebecca and Freakshow. A very simple story of a young woman showing a demon how to use color. And it was all downhill from there. No, I'm kidding. My life has never been better. Right, here's the progress so far. There's a batter. There. It's not the prettiest thing in the world, I know. But give me a break, this is literally my first time making a cake. So I'm going to set this aside, I'm going to work on the second batch. But before I do that, I need to clean everything because everything's covered in purple. Forgot the baking powder. I forgot to add the baking powder to this cake. I put too much in. Okay, crisis averted, hopefully. I've also added in the orange zest that I forgot to add in before. Ow! Motherfucker! So it's basically time for me to do all this again. All the scooping shit. Oh, this is fun. This is so fun. Making a cake with zero experience is really, really fun, guys. I highly recommend it. Take two. Where was I? Yes, I was talking about the very first Rebecca Freakshow comic. So originally, Rebecca was a bit different than how she is now. Because I just made her. She was still developing as a character. And I often think back on the original version of Rebecca. And I can't stand it. I hate the way I portrayed her. First things first, obviously. I'm a man. Well, I'm non-binary, but at the time, very much identified as a guy. And obviously there's a bit of a stigma about female characters written by men. It's a stigma that's, fair enough. Yeah. A lot of guys are kind of not very nice, but, you know, some of them try their best. And I definitely wanted to try my best, but obviously I didn't do a good job, did I? Rebecca was, the original character was terrible. I hated her. I betrayed her as a glutton, because she was fat, and I didn't like that. At the time I thought it was okay, but I look back and I just think, oh, that's horrible. Then there's the way I drew her. Oh, blimey. You know, the idea was, oh, she's fat. Let's make everything bigger. Everything. Not taking into account that that's not how bodies work. So there was a period of time where I drew her with very big chest area. And oh god, it was bad. It was very bad. I changed that. And I like to think I've gotten better at drawing her and women in general. Hopefully. I mean, I can't really be the judge of that, can I? But so far, no one's complained about it, so maybe I'm doing a good job, who knows. And this portrayal of her being a glutton did make it into some of the works I did. Most notably, a Halloween comic I did, which I look back on now with nothing but disdain and disgust. She was about to get eaten by a Halloween creature, and she broke the fourth wall. She breaks the fourth wall and says, "It's a fitting death that I'm being eaten by a monster since gluttony is one of my main character traits." And I cringe thinking about it because that's not what she would say. God, I hate it. Okay, before I do anything else, I have to clean up because I need to get the next batch ready, so. I was in a very foul mood over making so many mistakes, but look who came to see me. George, hey buddy. The cat has come. Okay, so I've got a bit angry at myself there for making so many mistakes, but I know better now. And I hopefully will not be making any more stupid mistakes with this batch. So, let's talk about Rebecca's characterization. I didn't like the original version. She wasn't what I wanted her to be. And so I decided to take a step back and kind of rewrite her. Originally, I had never come up with a reason for her weight. And a part of me thought maybe there doesn't need to be a reason. But I did come up with a few silly things, like... I can't believe I'm about to say this. This sounds so dumb. One of the reasons I came up with was that there was a annual eating competition in her town and she was the reigning champion. It's so dumb. If this was a different series, maybe it could be funny, but no. I hated it. And so I kind of flip-flopped back and forth between the idea of there doesn't need to be a reason. But then I kind of had this idea. What if it was because of stress? I established an episode. No, it wasn't actually an episode. It was it was the epilogue of episode 1. Oh, for God's sake, the butter. I established in the epilogue of episode 1, Rebecca has a stress eating problem. That's what led to her issues with her weight. And I like that about her. I want Rebecca to be relatable. That is my goal with the characters. I want people to relate to her. And I feel like that's something at least some people can relate to. It's something I relate to a little bit, which is probably one of the reasons why I chose it. And from there, I've been much happier with the portrayal of the character. And I think I've kind of nailed it, so to speak. And I'm very happy with myself for that. And I'm very happy with how she's depicted, and other people seem to like it. People seem to really like her, and that makes me very happy. So, with that out of the way, we now get to the comics. I made the Rebecca and Freakshow comics during the pandemic because I had nothing better to do. I just spilled some flour on the counter. Oh dear, I better clean that up. Oh, my mum's gonna kill me when she gets home. I made the Rebecca and Freakshow comics when I had nothing better to do during the pandemic. Wow, I said that fast. And specifically, there was one story I worked on that was almost the end of Rebecca and Freakshow, which is ironic because it was meant to be their origin story. It was called Rebecca and the Freak, obviously. It was the origin of how the characters met. And I plan to someday do a video about it on this channel, talking about how terrible it was, because it was fucking awful. Like I said, the way I drew Rebecca back then was horrendous. And everything else about it was terrible. The characterizations were horrible. Everything was terrible. I hated it. I'm very glad I changed things. Be better. And the thing that made the comic so hard was the fact that I was doing it traditionally, with pen and paper. So I was spending quite a bit of money. Actually, no, my parents were spending quite a bit of money because I did not have my own income at the time. And I remember vividly actually getting into a bit of a shouting match with my mum about getting a pack of markers because I needed a very specific shade of brown for Rebecca's hair. And looking back, it was so stupid, and I don't like arguing with my parents, especially my mum, because I love her. When you look back on that, just think, God, Tim, you are the most pretentious asshole in the world. Or at least you were. That's why it was so hard, because I had to do everything myself, basically. And the story kept getting bigger and bigger, and I had everything planned out. Not all of it making it into the story, but I remember vividly having to scale back at a certain point because I was so done with not just the story, but the very idea of making comics as a whole. Oh shit. I ran into there were multiple points during the course of Rebecca and the Freak where I got massive art block and I just didn't want to keep going. And okay, actually, here's a tip for you guys. If anyone who gets art block, take a walk. Take daily walks outside in nature if you can. It really helps. That's what I do. You alright, George? Okay. I hated making. Yes, I did have to make it matter. I did. Okay, good. Phew. I hated making Rebecca and the Freak. I need to add the orange zest. And towards the end of it, it just became this massive slog. But I eventually managed to get it done. And the weight I felt off my shoulders whenever I finally finished it was palpable. It's very similar to now whenever I do the audio dramas. I'm just getting it done, it's just like, finally I can relax. But the difference being, Rebecca and the Freak, the original version, felt like a chore. The audio drama videos are way more fun and a better way of telling a story. So I eventually finished Rebecca and the Freak, and I decide I'm going to take a break from making comic books. They're comics, they're not books, but you know what I mean. I'm going to take a break from making comics. I never came back. I maybe made one other Rebecca and Freakshow comic and then that was it. Here's our orange zest. Very tasty. Okay, back to mixing, so I'm going to have to turn the camera off. That one went a lot better, I think. Let's hope so anyways. Right. I can never remember what I was talking about before I turned the camera off. I never came back to making comics. I made one other one, which was really one of the, up until making Rebecca and Freakshow as an audio drama, it was maybe one of the only times I ever really addressed the fact that Rebecca is extremely, extremely self-conscious about her weight. It was one of the very few times I did that at all. Look at that, look how green it is. Hell yeah. Oh, shit. That was close. If that had landed on the counter, my mom would kill me. Don't eat loads of cake mix, kids. Don't do what I just did. This is a much better consistency than the last one. Look at that. That's nice. Keep wanting to say, I never came back to comics. I've said that like 5 times already. So, geez, Tim, think of something else to say. So Rebecca and Freakshow kind of sat in limbo for a while. I kept coming up with new ways of telling the story. Like, for a while, I think I actually talked about this in the last video I did. I had considered putting some of the stories on AO3, which is a fanfic website mostly, but you can put original stuff on there too, I think. And I was going to do that. I made artwork for everything, and then put that on their stories. And that kind of got stuck when I started going back to college, because I got really busy with that. I didn't always have time for art or writing. I say that like I actually started the writing. I didn't. So eventually, Rebecca and Freakshow was kind of just languishing. I knew I wanted to do more of that. I did. Especially, I started doing a creative media course, which is the precursor to my animation course I'm doing right now. And back then, I was always just thinking of what I wanted to do for an animated project. And it always came back, in the end, to Rebecca and Freakshow. Because why wouldn't it? This is my baby, essentially. Dad's moving around. Right, we're getting into the real shit now. It's time to put these guys in the oven. So I've been preheating the oven for about 2 hours now. That's how long it's fucking taking me to do this shit. It's finally time for these to go in. So they will they will bake for, well, the book says 20 to 30 minutes. I'll split the difference and go 25. Which is funnier than 24, as everyone knows. So without further ado, I'm going to put these in. 25 minutes. So while that's going on, it's time for the most fun part of cooking and baking. Tidying up. You can't see it. I've taken the first cake out of the oven. I'm just going to test to see if it's complete. It is. Okay, good. So I know they're not really purple and green. The tops of them, this one's quite dark, this one's nice golden brown. But I'm sure inside they're the right color. So I have to let them sit for 2 minutes. And then I need to loosen the edges with a knife. So come out, then they have to cool for another 10 minutes before I can do anything else. So we'll be right back. Okay, we've got an improvised shot. I took them out of the it doesn't zoom out, okay. I took them out of the things. This one cracked a bit, as you can see. So that's a bit shit. But they're gonna be covered in chocolate, so it doesn't matter. But what is good is I saw inside, you can't see at the minute, but I did see inside. It's purple on the inside, so my food coloring technique worked, so yeah. So about 8 more minutes and I can get these together. Okay, I've changed up the camera a little bit. It's time to get the cakes onto this plate. So I can put the marmalade on. Here's the marmalade here. Of course, I had to get the one with Paddington on it. That's how you know it's good. It's got Paddington on it, and you know it's good. And I've already opened this because I had some of it for my lunch. I've got this thing to help with the process, a little doohickey from my mum's bakery drawer. How am I going to do this? I just kind of realized I don't really know. Okay, right. So the recipe says 4 tablespoons of jam. I'm using marmalade for this, obviously. So
Marmalade time.
So, where did I leave off of the story? I don't remember now. I think... Sorry, I'm very easily distracted. I'll be right back. Okay, so I've got the marmalade. Ready? And I wasn't remembering what I was talking about. So, Rebecca and Freakshow. Animation. In my creative media project, no, that's not it. Creative media course, I always wanted to do animation. Specifically involving Rebecca and Freakshow. This is not working. I'll just get like a spoon. Let's get a spoon. I always wanted to do animation in college. That was my goal. And during my creative media course, I was just thinking all the time about what I could do. In the end, it always came back to Rebecca and Freakshow. Then eventually, I got onto the animation course, and I was beyond happy about that. And I met some great people, told them about Rebecca and Freakshow. They seemed to really enjoy it. And that's kind of where it ended for a while until, and I've told this story before, so I'll keep this bit brief. I discovered Journeys Ahead, story made by a friend of mine. And I loved the audio drama format for telling stories. And I decided that's where I wanted to take Rebecca and Freakshow. And so the rest is history. We're now a few months in to this run of Rebecca and Freakshow, and 5 years into the entire series as a whole. And I'm now stood here, baking a cake to celebrate that fact. So, shit one, yeah. Right. Top it. I'm going to be very careful because this is the one that split open. But hopefully it goes well. Oh, I'm so scared about this. Please don't explode or something. Oh my god. Oh. Hey, it's purple. Okay. Oh, baby, that's good. Look at that. Fantastic. Pat it on a bit. I need to wash my hands because they're all greasy. Now let's start with the exciting part. The chocolate. So, like I said at the start of the video, this is basically going to be a big Jaffa cake, which is the... Are you fucking kidding me? Which is the reason why I'm getting chocolate. The cat's here. Hello. Oh, this is so unsafe to do. Are you fucking... There, I got it. God. It's a big Jaffa cake. Oh shit, that smells good. Oh man, I love chocolate. So, there's not really much else to say about the history of Rebecca and Freakshow. I've kind of covered all bases. Kind of covered all the bases of it, really. The only thing I suppose I can say... This isn't working. Okay. It's a palette knife. Doesn't work. The only thing I really can say is just thank you, really. Like, there have been moments where I didn't want to keep going with Rebecca and Freakshow on YouTube because I just thought no one's watching this, no one cares. But people do care, people do watch it. It's a very small amount of people, yes. I acknowledge that, and I'm okay with that now. I don't need Rebecca and Freakshow to be seen by millions of people around the world. Oh, shit. Oh, this cake's not going very well. As long as Rebecca and Freakshow is seen by a dedicated few, then to me it's successful. If Rebecca and Freakshow has only one fan in the entire world, it would still be successful to me. Because to me it's not about the popularity. I do this for the joy of it. And yeah, it was discouraging seeing not a lot of people paying attention. But, you know, that's because I care about this. This is my baby. Oh my god, this is going so terribly. Oh, it's starting to slide. Oh no, come on. Oh man. I'm kind of just talking on my ass at this point. Because I'm running out of stuff to say. My cat's eating his food. I don't know if you can hear that. But I want to thank everyone who's stuck with the series so far. I know the current version has only just started, but still. And there's more to come. There's episode 4 coming out very, very soon. In like at least the next month. And there's everything else after that I plan on doing. It's very exciting to work on this. So, yeah. This is the most butt ugly cake I've ever seen in my entire life, but hey, at least I can say I made it. So there's really only one thing left to do. I'm gonna dig in. I'm only gonna cut myself a small slice. Because I want other people to enjoy this. I want my family to have some of this. My friends, so I'm just gonna cut myself a small slice. There you go. Oh, it's actually purple and green. Oh yeah. Oh my god. Alright, kitchen table. I've got the cake, and I'm just baffled by the fact that it's actually purple and green. I was not expecting that to actually work. I should probably be looking at the camera, not myself. So, without further ado, chin chin. That's quite nice, yeah. Man, I surprised myself by how nice this is. Let's get a bit more of chocolate on it. Oh, yeah. Oh, I got a bit of the orange there. It's like a big chocolate cake. Yeah, successful. Oh, this is nice. Go save the rest of that for after I'm done recording here. I just stopped talking about my fill, that's rude. So, that's been a cake that I've made. Both for the 5th anniversary of Rebecca and Freakshow and for Rebecca's birthday. February 21st. Rebecca's birthday, the day I made her. She would be 25 today. If if she aged like a regular human being, she'd be 25. So that's kind of funny. Because again, 25 is funnier than 24. So I don't really have much else to say. Really, I've done it. this video's been a bit of a clusterfuck. Because it could have gone worse. It definitely could have, but it definitely could have gone a hell of a lot better. But it wouldn't be one of my videos if something didn't go wrong, at least once. So yeah, I've been Dinosaur Tim 2. This has been a very good cake that I made myself, all by myself. And I'll see you next time. I'll see you for the anniversary video. That's gonna be pretty cool. I still don't know how to end these videos. I'm not a fucking YouTuber.